Okay, as we continue with this semester, we are going to be doing a color mixing worksheet. So the first section are the primary colors. We got red, blue, and yellow. Secondary is creating by mixing equal amounts of the two primaries, so orange, green, and purple. And then intermediate or tertiary are going to be the mixing of one primary and one secondary. So that is going to be where you're going to do a red violet, red orange, blue green, and I do suggest writing this down because it will be easier for you in the long run when we're doing this, and then yellow green. All right, this is going to be orange, green, and violet, red, yellow, and blue. Now on your desk, there is a cupcake tray full of tempera paint. That is the paint we're going to be using. There's only the primaries and then white and black, and that's it. That means that you are going to have to mix the other colors. Now, the reason why we're doing this is that some of you guys have not had an art class since maybe 6th or 7th grade, depending on where you went to school. So you will need to put your name, class period. You'll need to get a paintbrush, a little cup of water, and a plate. Now, you are not going to need a lot of paint. And mainly the water is just going to be pretty much used to clean your paintbrush out. Okay, so we're going to start with the red. And you're going to paint this in as neatly as you possibly can. And if you do use the water, make sure that you don't put a lot on it or your paper will start to warp. And we don't want that. Try to be as neat as possible because for a project that we're going to be doing, you are going to need to try to be neat about it and get your stuff in the lines and everything. So we're going to take a little bit of yellow and go ahead and fill this in. And then same way with the blue. If I had a little bit too much water in my brush. Okay, and then I'm going to rinse my brush out again. Rinsing your brush out is going to be so important. So now we're going to make orange. And to make orange, you're going to mix the red and yellow. So we're going to take just a little bit of the red and yellow and mix it together. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. Okay, so this is where my yellow is going to go. And then to make green, you're going to mix yellow and blue together. And what you're going to do is you're going to take yellow. I just took a little bit of yellow and a tiny amount of blue, because blue is pretty intense. You don't need a lot. And we're going to paint this in. And then we have to make violet or purple. With that, you're going to take a little bit of, do it right here, of red or blue, and then mix it with red. And then you are going to get a purple. And then all you're going to do is paint that in here. Now this paint, as long as you don't add too much water to it, will dry fairly quickly. All right, now this is going to be where you are mixing the one primary and secondary. So to get red violet, going to mix red and violet together, meaning the red is the dominant color, even though it's still violet. It's going to have more red into it. Okay, and then we're going to just butt down to blue violet, which is right there, which I'm going to add more blue in. And I'm going to paint that in. Now, right now, this looks like black, but as it dries, it will lighten up. Okay, always make sure your paintbrush is clean before you go back. If your paint water is getting a little muddy, I do suggest fixing that. And then we will go to red orange, yellow orange, blue green, and yellow green, meaning that this is going to be more yellow than green. Okay, so now here you have the white, color, white equals tint. So I'm going to take this one right here. This is where the actual color, the original color, or the hue is going to go. All right. Then we're going to take some of that color and we're going to mix it with white. And that is going to be the tint. And then we're going to paint it in circle area. And like I said, you want to be neat about this because when we get ready for the project, that's going to be really important. So now we're going to take red and add black to it. Now, black is a very, very dark. And if you use too much, it will take over. And it will get to the point where all you're doing is making black over and over and over again if you add too much. And then this is going to go in the shade area. Okay. Now, this is not a race to see who gets finished first. Okay, we have tomorrow as needed to get this done. All right, I'm just wanting to make sure that you understand about how to create the various colors. This is tempera paint. It is, what's nice about it is if your paper is dry, which this is, if you wet your finger and let's say, oh, I have dry paint in on my plate, I want to make sure that I can rehydrate it. If your paint, let's do this one. You add water to it, you're going to rehydrate it. So if you have paint that's dry, that's fine. You will wash your paintbrush out in cool water. That's very important because the metal, if you wash it in hot, it will activate the glue that's holding the brush in and we'll start to have brush hairs everywhere. So cool water. You want to rinse this out when you get finished for the day. Put your paintbrush back in a clean container, just like this. You want to make sure that the brush hair section is standing up. You do not want to leave it like this in a container because it will ruin the brush. And we don't want to do that. This you will keep for tomorrow and until we finish our paintings, and then we'll go from there. This you will probably turn in tomorrow. You're going to either be able to upload it into Canvas. I would prefer that you upload it into Canvas, but if you do not have a camera and your camera on your computer is not working, you can turn it in. But if it is working, you need to take a picture. All right. And you guys can go ahead and get busy. The paint that's on your table is being used by 2 other classes. So you'll need to be careful when you're taking the paint out onto your plate. Don't mix the paint. All right. Because that's what we're using. All right, if you guys have any questions, let me know, but I think that answers everything. This is one that I worked on this morning for a sample. All right, so then you'll go through orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. The tint, the original color, and the shade. And that is it, guys.